Marvel Heroes Omega is back, baby, so roll that goddamn intro!
What fools these mortals be.
What is going on, everyone? Marvel Heroes Omega has returned. What you're watching is gameplay from 2023 featuring Symbiote Spider-Man. Now, you're wondering, how the hell is this even possible? Where are all the enemies? Well, my friends, I have that information for you today. Here's a cheeky little image of War Machine. If you look in the bottom left corner, you will see Hello 2023. Obviously, you know, just confirming that this isn't sort of old footage or anything like that, but I have more information for you guys that I think you'll be really excited about. Let me tell you right now. So this right here, what you're looking at is a link. Now, if you click this link, you'll get all the information possible about how to play this server emulator for Marvel Heroes Omega. Now, if you don't know what that is, essentially you can play kind of a stripped down version of it, all right? But it is forever updated. So Marvel Heroes server EMU is an experimental server emulator for Marvel Heroes. The only currently supported version of the game is client 1.52.0.1700, also known as 2.16a. And then, as you can see, features currently are network protocol implementation, exploration of all hubs, as well as a number of combat zones, hero and costume selection, and rudimentary implementation of hero powers. All right, now as you can see, contributors, I actually managed to speak to Crypto, so you'll get a quote from them very, very soon. The setup, if you want to play this yourself, is first you need to get the 1.52.0.1700 client. This is the final released version of Marvel Heroes. If you still have the game in your Steam library, you can download it from there. It is also possible to download other versions of the client from Steam. You can obviously click that link for details when you go on the website. Link for this, by the way, will be in the description. After getting a client, you need to set up a web server to serve siteconfig.xml and redirect login requests. For the guide, we're going to be using Apache. Now, I'm not going to read all of this out because it's a lot of, you know, underscores, hashtag mumbo jumbo, but please make sure to pause this if you'd rather use the video as a guide. If not, then click the link in the description. So this is the next page of it. Okay, again, make sure you pause it, make sure you have a cheeky gander. The Discord does have a good sort of analysis as well, and there's plenty of people that will be willing to help you on the Discord as well. Link to that is also on the GitHub. All right, now as you can see, now you can actually start everything in Getting Game. Start Apache by running that. Start Marvel Heroes server emulation. Let's launch the game. Log in with any emails and passwords. You can customize how the emulator functions, including changing your starting hero by editing the file. So not only that, ladies and gentlemen, but we also have more gameplay, more you know, screenshots and stuff as we get into this. But I did ask one of the main contributors, Crypto, for a quote about what made them start doing this and everything else, and it's a really good story. So I've been a part of the Marvel Heroes community since April 2013, when a friend of mine shared his closed beta account with me. Back then, the game was still pretty rough around the edges, and the servers were up for only a few hours at a time with a rigid schedule, but I instantly saw the potential it had. I was familiar with Marvel, but I wouldn't have called myself a huge fan. What I was, and still am though, is a huge fan of Diablo and other similar action RPGs, and Marvel Heroes, even in its rough state, was like a breath of fresh air after the disappointing release of Diablo 3. I've been there on day one, and I've enjoyed the game and all of its updates tremendously. Other than just playing the game, I was involved with the Diablo/ARPG news website as a writer at the time, and it gave me some opportunities to interact directly with the development team in interviews and such. The absolute peak of all of this was me being able to interview David Brevik in person, the idea of which made me quite nervous, but it ended up being a lot of fun since David is such a nice guy. David had a really heavy hand in Diablo and of course Marvel Heroes as well. So you could imagine my disappointment when the news about Gazillion losing its Marvel license and shutting down came out. It's not like it was completely unexpected at that point, but losing the game without it ever getting the chance to go into maintenance mode was heartbreaking to say the least. I had never been involved with development of a server emulator before at that point, but I was very much familiar with the concepts from both playing on existing private servers and setting some of them up to rest around myself, so I was confident something would come up for Marvel Heroes as well, considering the small but extremely passionate player base it had. As I was periodically checking for news on this front over the years, hope began to slowly fade away. Bluntly speaking, it was all scams and people had zero clue what they were talking about. I'm not really surprised there, to be honest with you. Like, there's been a lot of people that are probably going to look at this title and think that I'm scamming you. Alright, so, you know, I've got to, you know, just give it a shot, okay? Fast forward to 2022, and we've come back to Diablo once again. Although I wasn't nearly as excited for Diablo 4 as I was for 3, I was still closely following its development and release. That included me hanging out with some people who were reverse engineering the game since the first alpha clients began to leak in the summer, and what they were able to do without access to the servers seriously impressed me, and that got me thinking. The opportunities I got to play Diablo 4 from its closed endgame beta to the eventual release a few months ago, the more I felt like I'd rather be playing Marvel Heroes again instead. I respect the honesty. That led to me going on another round of searching for news, and like always, there was nothing. But this time, inspired by the absolute mad lads who were able to break through all of Blizzard's defenses completely blind, I decided to try and see what I could do. The first step is always the same, getting your hands on the client files, and originally I wasn't planning on going much further than that. I knew there was a way to download older versions of games from Steam, so I took a look at what was still available for Marvel Heroes, and I was surprised to discover that all of the versions from May 2013 to November 2017 was still available to download. I got myself copies of a bunch of them and started to look into if you could even launch them. One thing led to another, and after a week and a half of tinkering around and a bunch of lucky coincidences, I was able to get past the login screen. It was the proof of concept that was needed to get more people involved, and that's when the serious work on developing the server emulator truly began. A few people joined to help, including Alex Bond, who you might remember from his excellent item database website. I'm quite new to Alex Bond, but I have done a bit of research since then. Really impressive stuff. I'll be honest, this is a real opener for me. Most of the work over the past month has been reverse engineering the game client, and that has led to a number of very reassuring discoveries. The biggest one is that apparently the client shares a lot of its code and data with the server. We are still looking to what exactly is and isn't shared, but so far it's been looking like all the critical things that are usually the hardest to reproduce, damage calculation formulas, loot tables, data for procedural zone generation, etc., are all there in the client. What it means is that it should be possible to accurately recreate various tricky gameplay aspects even without access to the original servers. That's huge, by the way. One thing I would like to mention here is that currently we have no plans to host any servers ourselves. This is primarily a research and software development project, and it's up to the community to decide what it wants to do with it, whether it's playing solo, hosting a server for a couple of your friends, or trying to recreate the MMO experience of what it was back in the day. One idea that has been floating around though is making a launcher that would make it easier to connect to different servers, but that's still very far off. There is a very long road ahead of us, but for the first time since the game shut down, there is an actual road we can walk on. I still can't give you any promises at this stage, but I would do my best to get us as far along this road as I can. So that is from Crypto. What an amazing message that is for fans of Marvel Heroes Omega. I'm not gonna lie, guys, like the absolute excitement is crazy. I never got to play it. I now finally have a chance to play it. You see what I'm saying? Here's an image of Symbiote Spider-Man in this server, the one you probably see on the thumbnail for the video as well, and Black Cat chilling out right near the Quinjet. Currently, you can't fight anyone. They are, bringing that up. Probably by the time I've released this video, that will be outdated, and it probably will be the case, so make sure to check it out yourself, as well as some gameplay here of, Thor in his destroyer armor going absolutely crazy, swinging his hammer around by Crypto there. It's really cool stuff, and I really hope you guys give this a chance and give it all the love it absolutely deserves. Thank you all for watching this video today. I know it wasn't super based on comedy, but this is nuts, and I really wanted to showcase it. I'll see you all later.